first drill that I want the pitcher to learn when they're first starting is how to line up their target. And what you do is you're going to have them open their hands and put them on their hips. And what I want them to learn is how to separate the movement of their shoulders. Even though the shoulders work together, they do move independently. So you'll have a lot of beginner pitchers lift and rotate both shoulders. This drill is going to have them just pick up their knee to leg lift, and their front shoulder should be moving independently towards their chin. Once they get that feel, I want them to bring it up and maintain their front shoulder and chin in line with their target lane. This is the first step of learning how to set up your drive line and how to deliver your arm to and through the target lane. All right, this next drill is a balance beam you could use or a crate. And what I'm going to try to get the pitcher to learn is how to let their front leg get out in front of them without distributing their weight on their front foot. And one of the analogies that I like to use is when you go to a pool and you want to test the water, learning how to stay back, this is basically the same kind of feeling or movement. When you go to the pool, you kind of dip your foot in the water to see the temperature. And as you can see, I'm staying back. This is the same kind of feeling you're going to have as a pitcher. You want to stay back as your front foot gets out in front of you. So what I'll do is I'll have the pitcher get on a crate, and I'll have him hold his hands together, and I'll kick his leg, and I'll break his hands and just try to get his foot out in front of him without falling off the crate. This is showing him how to maintain his weight on his back foot without falling out in front. And if he puts his weight and tries to stride with his front foot, he'll fall off the crate, okay? This next drill, we're going to put our hands back underneath our arms, and what we're going to do is we're going to kick and get to our power position. And what we're doing here is, again, we're learning how to stay back. Staying back is keeping your upper body weight contained on your back foot as your stride gets out in front of you. So have the pitcher put his hands underneath, and at first, they might gain a little bit of ground this way, and that's okay. Little by little, they need to gain more ground and learn how to stay back, favoring their back leg. Me being a lefty, it's going to be my left leg. A righty, it's going to be the opposite leg, obviously. So you have your hands underneath your arms, you'll kick, and you'll stride out in front. Again, I have my inside leverage on the inside part of my back foot. I won't do this. There, I lost my weight. I have no leg drive left. I transferred my weight too soon. So why I have them have their hands underneath, it's basically they're holding themselves back, their upper body back to favor their backside. All right, the next drill is handbrake. What I want to do is teach the pitcher the timing between their hands and their feet. This is the most critical and most crucial part of the delivery, is the timing, and this is the initial timing mechanism, is your handbrake and your feet. So what I'll do is I'll have the pitcher come together in a set position, lift his leg, and put his foot down. And as you can see, I'm covering the same amount of space as the distance between my feet. So my hands will come together, I'll lift my leg up and just put my foot down and gaining a little ground. I want to gain as much ground with my feet as the space in between my hands. Again, this is one of the, if not the most important part of the delivery. It's the initial timing mechanism. It's your hand separation and the feet separation. Next drill is your handbrake drill to the power position. The second most important timing mechanism is when my foot touches the ground, not plant. When it touches the ground, I want to have my arm and hand in the proper position to be able to deliver the baseball and deliver my arm to the target. So I'm going to have the pitcher come set. He's going to kick, and when this front foot makes a forward movement, I must separate my hands. So by the time his foot hits the ground or makes contact to the ground, his hand is above his elbow. And his elbow is around shoulder height or just below, and his other elbow is up above his shoulder. One other thing, when you do this drill, you should have what I call the shoulder tilt here. This is shoulder tilt. As you can see, my front shoulder is a little higher than my back shoulder. That's very important because if I don't do that, I'm going to distribute my weight on my front leg. I'm going to have some sort of shoulder tilt because I'm trying to favor my back side. So as you can see, I have a slight angle to my shoulders. This is making me stay back. And again, my hand has to be above my elbow. I don't want my hand below my elbow. The next drill is, as you can see, I have a glide board, and this is one of the best tools for a young kid, even older kids. This glide board is about 5 feet. I have other glide boards that are about 8 feet and some 10 feet. And what I do with this is teach the pitchers how to use their legs without using their upper body to get them to gain ground towards the plate. So what I'll do is I'll have them place their hands underneath their arms. They'll kick and they'll drive inside this foot, their back foot. All right, so as you can see, I could glide across. So I'm going to do my pitching delivery. I'm going to kick my leg and let my leg start to come down so I can get the leverage on the inside part of my back foot. I should be able to just push with my legs and keep my upper body stable. That's why I have my hands underneath my arms. I don't want the pitcher to push upward. If he pushes upward, he won't go across the board. All right? He'll have to use his body right and get the leverage, just like a pitcher would do, on the inside part of his foot. As you can see, my knee gets inside my foot so I can drive towards the plate. All right, this is a great tool to have. I recommend everybody get it, and it'll teach a child how to use his legs, a young pitcher and even older pitchers as I get a longer board. All right, the next drill that I'm going to have, again, I'm going to use another prop. It's a basso ball. And what I'm doing on this is the most important thing for your leg drive and your stride is the use of your back foot. And what I try to tell my pitchers and get that ingrained in their head is your stride is determined by your back foot, not your front foot. I have to have a really strong foot, and I want to work it all the way to my toes before my front foot lands. So I basically have to run out of back foot before my front foot lands. This is going to teach the pitcher how to get extension with their ankle and their foot and learn how to use their strong feet to drive their body and separate their feet for their stride. So what I'll do is I'll have them get on the basso ball. When they're new to this, I have them go low. As they get better, I'd go a little higher. And what this does is this is unstable. So they have to create their stability with their foot. And again, that is what ignites the legs. The back foot ignites your leg drive. Okay, so what I would do is I have the pitcher come set without a baseball, kick and drive off the basso ball using their back foot extension. So they won't land until they run out of back foot. All right, so the next step or the next drill with the basso ball is have the pitcher throw the baseball. I would set it up probably 45 feet, nothing, not legal distance, just have it about 40 feet, 45 feet. If that's the distance that your young pitcher's throwing from on a mound in a game, then I would move it to 30 feet. All right, so what I would do is just have the pitcher come set out of the stretch, deliver the baseball. All right, the next drill is a football drill. I want the pitcher to get a football that isn't too big for their hand. I'm 6'3" and I'm using a high school football. So if it's a little league pitcher, I would get a junior size football. And what I want them to do is put their front finger that they usually have outside the glove on the top of the football. All right? This is where their glove is. So they're going to act like this is their glove. And what this is going to do is teach them how to bring their glove in towards their pec and not sweep their glove away from them. So if you have this in their hand and have them simulate their delivery, this is what's going to happen. They're going to bring the football in naturally right to their side. So I'd have them go through their drills without the baseball. And then I would give them a baseball and let them throw either into a mat or to a catcher. I usually start with just a mat because I don't want them trying to hit targets or anything. I just want them to be able to deliver the baseball and streamline their glove. Again, their glove side will come into their side. It won't stray away from them, taking them off their target lane. Again, I want to stay in my target lane, to and throw it. And this will help you learn how to use your front side. All right, the next drill is the football drill now with the baseball and putting the pitcher in a somewhat power position. Don't have their feet too far apart. I want them set in a power position, but I want them to be able to stride because I want them to still learn how to use their back foot. And now the football is going to keep them streamlined and be able to come towards their pec. So what I would do is just have them stand like this in the power position, my hands above my elbow, my front shoulders in line with the target, and I'm going to use my back foot to determine my stride and throw the baseball. So again, power position, use my back leg to take me forward, and there's my stride and there's my throw, and my football comes to my side. And one more. Front shoulder stays on my chin as I drive. I don't want to move my upper torso. I'm going to keep my front shoulder and chin in line. My arms and legs will be moving, but my upper torso is going to favor my backside. All right, this drill is the 2-knee drill. And what this is going to do is separate the upper and lower half, and it's going to make you learn how to use your upper torso. A lot of problems that pitchers have, especially young ones, they want to rotate their shoulders horizontally rather than getting a diagonal angle to their shoulders. And the reason you have to have somewhat of a diagonal angle, depending on your release point, how high it is and how low it is because I want to deliver my arm to and my hand through the target lane. I always want to go straight with my release. I don't want to go across. So I'll just have the pitcher stay with me and we'll play catch. I'll have him turn and he'll throw and deliver his arm straight to and through the target lane. And again, you'll see if he's delivering his arm straight to and through the target lane, he should be able to stay within the cylinder of the plate. If he's not, he's going across. So right now I'm throwing him right down the middle of the plate. My shoulders are rotating on a diagonal to get my hand to release the ball straight out in front of me and follow through, finishing on my right side. All right, this next drill is called the show, load, and throw drill. And this drill is going to accomplish how to release the baseball on top of the ball. I'm going to show where I release the ball. Then I'm going to load the baseball. And what I want to do is bring my front shoulder towards my chin. I want to have my elbows in a line to form a T, and I want to be back, so I'm going to have somewhat of a shoulder tilt. As you can see, my shoulders are tilting. The main thing here is the ball should be shown towards the second baseman. You don't want to have the ball facing second base. I want to be at the second baseman if I'm a lefty. If I'm a right-hander, I'm going to have the ball facing the shortstop. And the reason for that, if you have the ball facing second base, when you go to rotate, the way I'm teaching you to go through your front shoulder, from your torso to your front shoulder, when you rotate, the ball would be facing first base at this point. And that's where a lot of kids or a lot of pitchers start to have to get around the ball. If you face the ball at second base and go through your shoulders, the ball's lined up right with the home plate and you throw it. So how it would work is you show it, my two fingers are pointed right towards home plate, then I get it up to where I would release, load it, and throw it. And what I'm doing right now is, again, I'm going through my front shoulder to my back shoulder. So I'm learning how to throw the ball last. So I'm here and throw the ball. So again, you're going to be showing, loading, throwing. All right, so it's show, load, throw. Show, load, throw. And the object is to get your arm in the right position and to go through your shoulder line to deliver your arm so you throw the ball last. This next series of drills are reverse pitch, and reverse pitch is for linking the body from the ground up and getting the mind to run on autopilot so I can deliver each pitch with unconscious effort and not think about it. And this will instill your movements into your body and into your muscle memory. So what I would do is just start out in my stretch first, deliver the pitch, reverse it, and deliver a pitch again without a baseball. The object is to try to land back in the same spot I started from, so I have to learn how to use my feet correctly. So again, it'll be here, I deliver the baseball, I rewind using my feet to try to get back into the same spot I was in, right into my leg kick, and go. What you have to do is really try to grab the ground with both feet when you deliver the baseball. And that'll instill the muscle memory of the movements in your pitch and delivery from the ground up. The next part of the reverse pitch is I'll throw a baseball. So again, I always start the guys out in the stretch first. You could eventually go into the windup. This is the same drill. Come set, deliver the baseball, rewind it, and throw. Do this 3 times, do 3 sets of 5. Come set, deliver the baseball, rewind it, and throw the ball. Trying to keep landing in the same spot that you started from when you do your reverse pitch. It teaches you how to use your feet to ignite your legs. The last one would be the same thing, reverse pitch, but it'll be random. So what I would do is have my pitcher grab 2 baseballs, have them do reverse pitch 5 straight times, and randomly I would pick them when to throw the baseball. So come back, start, I'd have the pitcher go through 1, 2, and when he's right in here, throw the baseball. Go back, pick another one, throw the baseball. That's reverse pitch random. 5 pitches, pick which one you want to do randomly. That'll instill the muscle memory and the pitching movements. All right, this next drill is going to be a drill that's going to teach the pitcher how to use the back foot to stride. A lot of pitchers want to stride with their front foot. I teach the opposite. I want you to stride with your back foot. And what I mean by that is when I'm going to stride out to foot touch and foot plant, I don't have my leg kicked and I reach and step with my front foot, because if you see right now, my weight's on my front foot. I lost my weight transformation too soon. I want to learn how to use my back foot to stride all the way to my toes, so I could stay back and I could have more force and more leverage when I land to foot touch than foot plant. The other thing is the foot also, the back foot, will determine when the front foot opens. If I go sideways the whole way, this foot's going to be sideways. When this starts to turn, it actually starts to open up your front foot. So use your stride with your back foot. So this drill will be, you'll have your feet just outside shoulder width, have your foot slightly turned, but you're going to have your heel off the ground to where I'm on the front portion of my back foot. I'm going to get into my power position where I have my arms almost in a T from my elbow to elbow, and I'm going to be back where my shoulders are tilted. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stride, finishing my stride with the rest of what I have left of my foot. That's when my foot will hit the ground. All right? So my back foot is going to determine my stride. Okay? See how my foot opened? I didn't try to open that with my front side. I used my back foot to open up my hips, and it opened up my front side. So I'll get back into my power position. Just have my feet just a little outside my shoulders because I still want to stride. Take my heel off the ground, front shoulder in line with the target in your chin, and now I'm going to finish my stride by just using my back foot to extend my ankle, legs to my toes. All right, let me give you one more. This is the way you want to teach leg drive. Your back foot is very important. It ignites your leg. You don't want to push off the rubber and have a flat foot like that. You want to get all the way to the toe. If you could see, my calf is really working here to get to my toe. So again, I'll be shoulder width, chin on my front shoulder, elbows in a T and up. My hands facing second base. I'm going to lift my heel up, and I'm going to finish my stride just using my back foot to deliver the baseball. And I'm right in line and balanced perfectly with a good finish. All right, after we learn how to throw from the stretch, and I emphasize, young pitchers should never even try to throw from the windup. My little league, I give them some advice, and I say when the pitchers are just starting to learn how to pitch, get them from the stretch so they can master their movements from the stretch. When you're practicing the windup, you start practicing it before you implement it in the game. And my reasoning when I tell my pitchers is technically you could only throw one pitch an inning in the windup. If I give a hit on the first pitch, the rest of the inning I'm throwing out of the stretch. So master the stretch first and then start practicing the windup after they're very good at the stretch. So what I would do is I tell the pitchers, if you're left-handed, to try to favor the left side of the rubber. If I'm a righty, to favor the right side of the rubber. And there's a couple reasons. If I'm a left-hander and I'm on the left side of the rubber, I'm going to have a lot more plate coverage to the left side, the center, and the right side of the plate. If I move over to the far right side and I deliver the baseball, I'm really just lined up with the right side of home plate. I'd have to actually throw the ball back towards the plate to have more plate coverage and hit my outside corner. When they get to learn how to throw a breaking ball, again, I don't have enough plate coverage on this side to really finish my delivery. I kind of have to throw it back towards the plate. The other thing is when the pitcher lands, if he's on his favoring his throwing arm side, when he comes up into the high cock position, the hitter cannot see the ball yet. As he starts to turn, then the pitcher will show the ball, or they will pick up the ball, the hitter, either a lefty or righty. If I'm on the opposite side of my throwing arm, when I'm in my high cock position, they're going to have a better angle to see the baseball. So if they don't pick the baseball up early, it gives less time for them to react. So that's why you want to have your pitcher favor their throwing arm side. So now when you're teaching the step and pivot, I want you to use kind of a tempo and a rhythm to create your momentum. So it should be almost like a rocking effect. So I would step back by pushing my buttocks out to get onto my back foot. I should be able to lift this foot up with no problem. I don't want the child to have his head behind his buttocks, so when he lifts his foot up, he's off balance. So he could step, he kind of rock and rolls. So then he's able to create momentum. So his tempo and rhythm creates momentum. I would just practice the wind up till they're ready to start commanding the strike zone, or throwing strikes, I should say, at a young age. And there you have it. I'm Frank DeMichael with thepitchingpro.com. Go to my website for more instructional videos.